One of the questions that I get asked the most is, how do you paint a butterfly? Now, lots of people struggle with this, and so did I for many, many years. Now, I'm going to show you how to do a beautiful rose butterfly today, which is great for a party birthday girl. It's very, very pretty. It's a little bit pink, but it's okay. We like a bit of pink. So today I'm using the Fusion Petal Sponge. This is the Happy Pixie palette. Now, this cake down here you can actually buy separately, and it's called Leanne's Pretty in Pink. And so instead of using a palette today, I'm going to use the single from the palette. But this is a good, easy way to buy all of the colors together. So you get two different types of rainbows: a purple tone, a blue tone, a mermaidy tone, and a pink tone butterfly. So that will cover you for all of your cats and dogs. Now, this is a petal sponge. I've already preloaded that just so that we can save some time. But basically, all you need to do is rub back and forth and just picking up the tiniest bit of that magenta. That magenta up the top I use as an outline color or for my double dip flowers, but we only want a tiny little bit of that. Now I'm just going to pat that on, and you'll see that there's a white line there, but I don't really want that white line. I want that to blend out to a beautiful makeup-y feel. So I'm doing, say, the top wing of my butterfly here, and just bringing it out a little bit further. So you've got nice coverage there, a little bit of a round there. I'm just going to add a little bit more magenta to that. So just have a look at what I'm doing there. And I'm just going to put a little bit more magenta on the sides there. So now I've got my basic butterfly shape. Woohoo! Pretty happy with that. So I'm just going to wait for that to dry. And while I wait for that to dry, I'm going to get Leanne's Bella Rose. It's in a palette as well, but I suggest, look, we all paint a lot of roses, so it's in the fairy palette, and the fairy palette is amazing, but it's a good color to have as a single as well, because we do lots and lots of roses on the job. So I'm just using my Leanne's Rainbow Angle Brush, the new 3/4 that's been brought out, and I'm just loading that back up and down like this. I'm going to start painting my rose in here. So I'm just wiggle, and I'm going to do 5 petals. 5, 3, 4, 5. Now, you don't really have to wait for that to dry because there's all the same color hue in there, but it is a little bit better if you do wait to dry. So while you're waiting for it to dry, one of the great things is you can work around a design. So I'm using one of my favorites to use for leaves is the pretty Secret Garden, is the Pretty Rainbow palette, and Secret Garden's in that. So I'm just using the same brush, Leanne's Rainbow Angle Brush, and I'm just going to slice that in, and we don't want to come in too harsh. I'm just doing like a pretty leaf design here, and I'll do a pretty leaf design there as well, and down the bottom. So now I've got some pink, some green leaves, and you can see how fast that gets applied. I might just finish off my rose while I'm here because I really want that butterfly to be dry. So I'm just reloading it again. You wouldn't normally need to reload because I don't really wait for this to dry so much, but just come in between, make some irregular shapes. You can go a little bit out past. And let me tell you, I'm not the best rose painter in the world, but this brush makes it real, and this cake actually makes it really easy because you've got a really dark center and a light outside. So it's super pretty. I'm just loading again. I'm not even going to wait for that to dry. So I'm just going to do this and come around and just flip these around. So you can see that I didn't even wait for that one to dry, and it still came out beautifully. Now to edge my butterfly, I could use white in this, but I'll just show you how to use my angle brush, because this is a tutorial to just try to go through all of the brushes as well. it gives you an idea of how to actually use all of my brushes. Now this is my angle brush. Now this color in here is Gypsy Rose. It's super pretty. It's in the Princess palette. I suggest if you haven't tried my colors before, this is one of the first ones that you would start with, this and this one here, and then you can add others. But I'm going in with my angle brush in between the colors to make my edging pretty multi-toned, and I'm just loading that up and down like this. Now popping this onto here and then just dragging this in and then down. There you go. So that's how you could do a pretty pink butterfly there. Now I'm going to show you how to use, I'll have to, I guess I'll have to show you how to use the petal brush. So the petal brush, well, I just messed it up. I was doing so well too. Anyway, we'll just keep going. So I'm just loading my white and then I'm scraping the brush off. So I don't want too much paint on there, but I've activated that white with some water, scraping it off on the sides, and then I'll work out what color I want, because I could do, I think I'm going to go into this one because I want some really nice darks in there. So I'm going to go into the pink first, and then I'm just going to go into that very end color. It's going to give me a really pretty dark, and I'm just going to, just on the side, I'm just placing that a few leaves. Now you can also do like a big flower, and that's what if you don't do a rose, do a flower like that in the center of that, and then bring your paintbrushes up like that. But I just thought I'd add a couple of little, maybe one more down here, just over the green. I can go over the green because it's really dry. You wouldn't go over green wet with a pink because it will mess up. Now I was going to show you next this is the Leanne's Rainbow Round number 4. Now this one is for all your big work, so your big teardrops. It is, honestly, I struggled with line work for years, and I bought numerous brushes, and these brushes work well with me. There's many different brushes on the market. You should try what works best for you, but these really were life-changing for me. So with this big number 4, it's really for these big teardrops like this. Oh my gosh, see how easy that is? Or you can drop like that. Now it's going to get a bit messy, my butterfly, but I just need to show you the actual brushes as well. You can see how easy that was. And then the number 3 round is, just going to load that with a bit of white there. And again, just loading, making sure that you're keeping your point nice and fine. It looks delicious. Okay, this one is, I can't use it on my butterfly, but I'm just going to, this is like what I would do for my pretty line work. If I was doing anything like this that needed to cover a little bit of distance, but it still needed to be fairly fine. And so you can see how easy that was. And as I said, I'm not a great line work painter. I'll show you again. It's just these pretty little lines you can bring in. So you could put that in the middle of a little princess crown. And so that's that one. Now with, I could probably, I just don't know, hang on. I might just go in and outline that butterfly. That's lost that pretty shape there. So you can do that, just little bits. And then the number 2 is my baby of the family. Now this is what I do all of my really fine line work with. And quite often I'll go in with some green. So I just mix a little bit of green in here. The Secret Garden is just a really pretty green to add some. So I'm just, that's what I do all my fine line work with. And you can see how fine you can get this brush. I hope you can see all of that on screen. But so that's just a pretty, like that's, I mean, I've just sort of been practicing. Oh, I've got one more brush. I was doing so well too. So this one here is my filbert brush. Now this is one that I have in my kit because it's got a particular feel to it. So I do use my flower brush, my angle brush, my rounds, and my big angle brush the most. But this is a great little one to have if you need to do like a unicorn horn. You can come down like this and just paint a little unicorn horn like this. Or when I do my mermaids, I start flat like this and I spin and I bring it in. And so I can come in and do my waves like just really quickly. I'm not even that fussed with it. I just put it over a blue cake and I just do some nice big thick waves, and that gives me that sort of feel on top of blue that there's a bit of whitewash and waves. So look, I hope that tutorial's been helpful for you. So again, to recap, I used Pretty in Pink, which you can buy separate or inside of this palette. I used the Leanne Pretty Rainbow palette, which has this beautiful green in it. Also got 2 different rainbows as well. I've gone through my, oh my gosh, I dirtied my brushes. I'm not happy. I wanted to keep those all clean. Anyway, so I've got my angle brush, my number 4 round, my number 3 round, number 2 round, my pretty flower brush, which you saw just here, the filbert brush, and the angle brush that I edged my design with. Hope that's been helpful today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.